to make is to not interrupt the podcast.
All right.
That's rule number 1.
All right.
We're starting. We're restarting.
We're starting. We're restarting. We're back. We apologize, but we're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back. Another episode.
Sofa Tomatoes.
Sofa Tomatoes.
I'm Tom Sofa.
And I'm Mike Tomato.
And we're back.
Should I give you the juice that keeps you loose like a goose on a farm?
And it's the thing that you need to give you some speed.
Not Coke.
Not Coke. But we're back, and it feels good to be back. Sorry for the long wait, but we're back.
Sorry for the long wait. That is I'll take responsibility on the long wait.
You can't take responsibility for the weather.
I can't take responsibility for the weather.
Can't do that. Take it back.
All right, fine. It's yours.
It's not mine.
Well, it's the ethers. I'll give it to the
weather.
ether.
You blame the weather.
It's the weather.
I guess that's why they call it the Windy City, huh?
That's not why they call it the Windy City.
I know. That's why I said it with a sarcastic tone.
I didn't pick it up because I'm stupid.
No, my whole tone is always sarcastic. That's why you didn't pick it up.
Right. It's so monotone.
So how you doing, man?
How am I doing? Life is good. I'm good. I'm going to start with a sourdough update.
Oh, hold on. Sourdough. Give it to me straight.
Sourdough. I'm going to give it to you gay, actually.
Well,
because it's my sourdough, and in my household, we're only gay.
Just give me the dough in a direct way.
Like, straights are not allowed.
Don't worry about straight or gay.
Anyway.
Just give me the dough direct.
Anyway, Bridget, as you know, is my second child.
Yeah.
And she has become the most beautifully active starter.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
She's fabulous.
Wow.
To the point where, I feed her 24 hours in advance of baking, and she looks like the shit I saw on TikTok.
Congratulations. Which you don't have anymore, by the way.
What? Of TikTok? No.
Yeah, Mike doesn't have TikTok, you guys. He deleted it.
Okay. Tangent to the Bridget story. TikTok was banned for 48 hours or less, whatever. I went online 9:30 p.m. CST, and a little banner popped up that said, "We're out." It said a lot more than that, but the general gist was, "We're gone."
And you didn't have room on your phone to hold the app for 2 days.
No, I didn't. I had no patience. So, and I listened to the Supreme Court argument, and I knew the court was going to uphold the law because all of the justices essentially were just like, this isn't a problem. ByteDance just needs to sell. I don't understand what the big fucking deal is. So ByteDance refused to sell the law. It went into enactment on January 19th, I believe. So January 19th at 9:30 p.m., TikTok was unavailable. And knowing what I knew then about the law and the government and their rules, whatever, I deleted the app because it was going to be useless. It was going to hold space on my phone. And I'm not holding space for TikTok. I'm holding space for other things.
Because you had to make room for...
I don't know. Fucking the Associated Press. I don't know.
I would love to know how much space you actually have on your phone.
I have a lot.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I have a lot.
That's what I thought. So,
but it's a dead app. Why would you keep a dead app?
You know why you keep apps like that? Because it's not dead until you actually until you open the app and it like force closes it to you. It's not a dead app. It's not.
Perhaps. I didn't know this. I thought it was dead, so I deleted it. And Apple, because I have an iPhone, took it off the App Store.
So does the rest of the world.
No, most people are Android. Most of the world's Android. Actually.
Is that the numbers?
Yeah, most of the world's Android. And so
alert the media.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's on the Google Play Store anymore. I guess I have to look that up. But Apple, following the law, removed it from the App Store because there's only a 90-day extension on this ruling.
Yeah,
the Trump administration says we'll give you 90 days for ByteDance to sell or the Congress to do something else.
For Zuckerberg to buy it.
Well, it's been floated that Elon buys it, which
I'm sure that there's a bidding war.
Well, that's if ByteDance wants to sell.
I heard Mr. Beast wants it.
Ew, fuck that guy. But anyway, it's not going to happen unless ByteDance agrees to sell, and ByteDance has done nothing but say they're going to keep it because it's a incredibly lucrative app.
For sure.
And if ByteDance is in cahoots with the Chinese government isn't going to let ByteDance sell.
For sure. I wouldn't either.
So TBD on that one. We'll see how the next 90 days goes. But for the period of time, I will not have access to TikTok. So my brain drain and brain rot is going to be channeled to some other corner of the internet. We'll see where that goes. I might go back to Reddit more.
Nice. Could be good for you.
It probably should. I should probably pick up reading. But
I've been so close to picking up my book the last couple days, but
also now that I have a TV, I'm actually looking at my phone less. Like I'm not using my phone for entertainment and media. I have a television to do that.
Let's congratulate Mike for moving from one screen to another.
Thank you.
What a
Thank
beast.
you. I am so happy that my attention is still commodified but now it's on a bigger screen.
Well,
now it's on a bigger screen.
Unlike you, I'm a multiple screener. I like to have 2 screens going at a time.
You got your quad box?
And then I like to have my phone going down low sometimes where I'll be like texting or scrolling, or then I'll have TV on one, video games on the other, and then I'm just like shoo, shoo, and it's just crazy.
That's a lot of attention.
Yeah, well, I got attention deficit, so
that's a lot of it. But yeah, back to Bridget.
Let's get back
really
to the
quickly.
dough update. Give me the dough.
So,
direct.
like I said, she's beautiful. She's bubbly. She's amazing. She looks like straight out of a sourdough magazine.
Love that.
So I've baked 2 loaves. Well, I've baked 2. I've made 3.
Okay.
I fucked up the first one.
Well,
because I was impatient, and I put it on my radiator to come up to room temperature after I took it out of the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up like cooking a little bit, sticking to the Banneton. It was a disaster.
Yikes.
Next, but learn from my mistakes.
Always.
So loaf number 2. My mistake on loaf number 2, I think, was that I didn't put enough, or like the starter, like Bridget wasn't at peak yet.
Right.
When I put her in,
Totally.
when I did the whole process.
Yeah.
So she didn't really rise, but she had good flavor.
That's good. That's a step.
And then Bridget number 3, good rise, good flavor, the crumb, exquisite. But I forgot to put salt in it.
Oh.
So it was bland. I ended up eating like half of it and throwing it out.
Yeah.
Because it was just not good.
That'll happen.
So, but I'm learning.
You learn.
And going into loaf 4,
okay,
I'm expecting great success. I'm expecting her to rise, and she's going to have a great ear. She's going to look like an elephant out of my Dutch oven. And I'm going to say, whoa, is that Dumbo? No, it's Bridget.
So if I were talking to a fellow loafer.
Yes.
And
as we call ourselves in the loafing community.
Yeah, if I was talking to a fellow loafer and I was to give them just like kind of a breakdown of kind of what I'm learning about bread from you.
Yes.
And just kind of like a couple key points.
Yeah.
I would say don't get discouraged.
Don't get discouraged.
I would say don't get discouraged if I'm just trying to give some tips as a learner here.
That's a big one.
Do not get discouraged because you're going to make mistakes. And then I would say the next big tip that I've learned from you is be patient.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Be patient. And I would say the third and final big tip, which is an interesting tip, is sometimes when you're making art, which sometimes bread can be.
Yes.
When you're making art, destruction is sometimes part of creation.
Wow. Deep.
Yeah.
Deep stuff from you today.
So that's kind of my breakdown from the sourdough update, and I'm giving it to you direct.
Yeah, that's great. I think bread is a great metaphor for life.
There you go.
It really teaches you a lot of things. And I've learned a lot from this experience. I have. I've become a better chef. I've become a better person.
Congratulations.
But also, I'm still hateful, so it didn't totally work.
So let me ask you a question. So with this power of bread that you have.
Yes.
Can you make a killer pizza with this dough?
I could make pizza crust
Huh.
out of it. I absolutely can.
Huh.
And it would be delicious.
Okay.
Delicious. I could do pizza. I could do pretzels. I could do bagels.
Really?
I
You
could
do
do
pretzels?
crackers.
Bagels.
You could do bagels. Sourdough bagels is a very popular sourdough recipe.
Hmm.
And to my understanding, it's not very difficult. The only thing with bagels is a little bit different is that you have to boil bagels. Did you know this?
You got to boil bagels.
You boil bagels and then bake them. You boil bagels in some type of, it's not molasses, but it's something in that viscosity
Okay.
realm. And like, I don't know, it's like not earthy, but maybe alcohol vibes. I don't know. But you boil them in this water solution situation and then you bake them. And then that's what kind of turns them into bagels. I don't know why the person who invented bagels decided to boil bread and then bake it, but I'm very glad that it was a success. Because I think, do you like bagel and lox? Like, you like salmon, right?
Sure do.
So like bagel and lox, like homemade bagel and lox would be phenomenal.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
So eventually I am going to host a housewarming party.
Oh,
yeah.
fancy.
Eventually I'm going to do that. I'm going to host a little party.
I like that.
And maybe I'll serve some bagel and lox for people that sleep over in the morning.
That's very specific.
Well, I have ideas now. And I also have this idea of doing like a margarita bar.
Sounds to me like you got the perfect scenario for like a brunch.
Oh, totally. I could easily do a brunch.
I think instead of like a housewarming nighttime sleepover, maybe you do like a little brunch. Like
I could do brunch, yeah.
And like margaritas, mimosas, you can make it.
I can make it happen.
Make it happen, Captain.
But yeah, I found this thing on, I think
pizza.
I think it was Instagram. Yeah, obviously pizza.
Obviously breakfast pizza.
Which is so good.
So
if you've ever had a breakfast pizza.
Can you imagine with your sourdough crust?
It'd be amazing. I need a a pizza stone, so the crust gets nice and like crispy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll get one.
My mom's got one. I could borrow hers.
Done.
But this margarita bar thing that I found on Instagram, I believe. So it's like you prepare, a strawberry compote thing, a peach compote thing, lemon, lime, like watermelon, whatever. And you kind of add it and mix it and create your own flavored margarita.
Oh.
So you can do, I think this person did like spicy jalapeno for one of them, peach, strawberry. It looked delicious. So I was like, I could do that.
Dude. You ever have a spicy jalapeno marg?
I have. And I don't love them.
Holy hell.
I don't know if I like spicy drinks. I don't know when I want to drink something if I like it spicy.
Oh my God. I had
especially alcohol.
The spiciest margarita of my life in Mexico this past year. I happened upon some random guy who was drinking spicy marg, and we were watching football and talking game a little bit. And I was like, "What are you drinking?" He's like, "Spicy marg, and this is the bartender that knows how to make them real good." I was like, "Okay, if you say so." His has chopped up habanero in it.
Yikes. And that's spicy.
And I said, I'll have what he's having.
Ooh,
and the lady's like, "Are you sure? Because what he's got is insanely spicy." I said, "You know what? You're right. Not as spicy as it, but still give me a little something.
Yeah,
I'm partying with this guy. Like I'll try. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah,
and it was pretty darn good.
Okay.
It was pretty darn good. It was damn spicy,
Yeah.
but it was pretty darn good.
Habaneros are scary.
Well, this must have been this guy's. It might have been his 4th or 5th
Okay.
of these.
So
'cause
he's feeling no pain.
he was so fucked up.
Yeah, he's feeling no pain.
Okay, and then he goes to the bathroom. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like kind of sipping and I'm looking to the left, like his drink's still there, his phone's still there, he hasn't come back.
Don't tell me he's shitting
10
blood.
minutes have gone by and I'm just like waiting. And I forget his name, but I walk and I'm like, I'm another human. I gotta check on this guy, make sure because he's fucked up. Make sure he didn't pass out in the bathroom.
Sure, he could have fallen.
You sit down, you fall, you hit your head on the side bar, you die.
Right. You know, what a way to go.
Oh my God, I got another story for you that's gonna blow your mind. I just remembered that I've been saving this for the podcast.
Oh, fabulous.
Oh my God, get ready for this shit. Anyway, keep listening, listeners, so you can hear this crazy story.
Suspense.
But anyway, so this guy, so I go to the bathroom like, hey, Steve, or whatever your name is.
Sounds like a Steve.
Yeah, he might have been. And I apologize if I'm about to sneeze. I might.
That's really fucked up.
Maybe not. I'm good. Anyway, so I go in. I'm like, Steve, you good? You good? Nothing. I'm like, Steve? He goes, yeah, I'm all right. I said, okay, no problem. Just checking in. Walk back out, sit down. Wait. Another 10 minutes go by. I'm like, something's up.
Right.
But then again, like, if you have a lot of spicy, that can leave you on the toilet for a while. Very uncomfortable toilet time.
Yeah. And
Very uncomfortable toilet time. But anyway, I went in one more time and I said, hey, so Steve, just checking back one more time.
Yeah.
Everything good? Can I get you anything? He's like, I think I'm good. And I said, all right.
Like a glass of milk.
I didn't say anything. And I just went back out there. I sat down for 2 to 3 more minutes. And then I turned to the bartender. I said, hey, Steve is in the bathroom. His phone's right here. Please keep an eye on it. Make sure that he gets it. And I left. Never saw Steve again.
Never saw Steve again.
Never saw Steve again.
So he could have died on that toilet.
Could have died on the toilet. I doubt it.
So you think that he was reeling from the spicy margaritas?
I think that
he had red hot lava coming out of his
I
ass.
think his asshole was puckering. And I think he was having a really hard time.
Oh
but
my
it's tough to
God.
say. It's tough to say. He could have been in there and just fallen asleep.
Like, I don't understand, and maybe it's just because, like, I'm built different. But, like, when I eat spicy food, like, I like some spice. I think there's some benefit to spice.
Love spice.
But when it's too spicy, I know that it's not only painful going in, but it's going to be painful coming out.
Sometimes, though, when it's too spicy, it's so good. Like I've
I
had
don't
it.
know.
Oh, my
I
God.
can't relate.
But yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, I feel bad for Steve.
I dread, like, the going in, like, in my opinion, is less painful or less concerning than the going out.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. What do I do? Like, just sit in milk?
Sit in milk?
I don't know. I do a milk enema. Like,
no, you don't
what
do
am
nothing.
I douche with milk?
You just suffer.
I can't. I no.
You literally just suffer. You got a little bit of a heat going on down there.
I'm absolutely not. I'm gonna douche with milk.
No,
I can't do it.
There you go. You got
you know,
you got a process, and that's just all there is to
I'm
it.
gonna douche with milk like I'm bottoming for the milkman.
That's
like,
crazy.
It's so
pants.
gross.
That's crazy pants. Anywho, so there you go. Spicy marg.
Spicy marg.
Spicy marg. Don't get too far into it, is what I'm trying to say.
Like I said, I've had them before, and they've never been awful. You know, like I've finished them. I've finished every one, but I don't seek them out. I don't seek them out.
You know the good marg? Passion fruit marg.
I've never had it.
Passion fruit, tahini on the rim.
That does sound good.
Ooh, and you know how to say passion fruit in Spanish?
Passion fruta.
Maracuya.
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 Uya.
I'm not joking. That's how you say it.
No, I don't doubt it.
Mike is culturally making fun of.
Well, I'm a
how you
Nazi,
say things,
remember?
right? Mike is a
Which there's an update on that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Give it to me straight.
Well, not that I'm a
Okay,
Nazi, but
however you want to give it.
I'll also give it to you, gay.
Yeah, sorry for saying that.
It's fine. But there's Nazis abound. Not me being one of them, but also
That's good news.
Did you see Miss Elon Musk and her Nazi salute? Did you witness this?
I did see that.
Oh my god.
I did.
So stupid.
I did.
And
That
you know
was
what?
something.
Okay, a little tangent. Then remember your story.
Oh, it's not. Believe me, I'm not forgetting.
Okay, because I want to hear your story. But a little tangent about like the tomato family. So yesterday, my father was I think he was feeling some type of way
Okay.
because he hit the family group chat with some political hotness,
Okay.
all directed at Elon and this Nazi salute.
Oh my goodness.
And my uncle, his brother, responded being like, we don't need to think that, he was just giving his heart out to the crowd. It wasn't a Nazi salute. He just has special needs. He's a little on the spectrum, right?
Possible.
So give him some grace. It wasn't a Nazi salute. You're totally misunderstanding the situation.
Yeah.
And I don't respond in the family chat. Rarely ever. I will respond if, oh my God, I have a dry spot in my throat.
Uh-oh.
I will respond if it's important. Like if somebody is like, hey, who's coming to this event?
Yeah.
Like I need a head count.
I'm in, I'm out.
I'll say that. But like when people are engaging in dumb shit, like I don't involve.
No, why would you?
But this one, I had some feelings. So I chime in and like my cousin had responded earlier being like, I think not or making excuses for white men is partly why we got into this situation.
Classic.
And then I responded something to the effect of like, yeah, I heard if you have Asperger's, you can't be a Nazi. And that was ruled by the Supreme Court in KKK v. asshole.
Jeez.
And I think that kind of got my uncle a little bit up in the tisms himself.
Understandable.
And he kind of hit me back with like an essay about
the
media, and I'm playing into the media.
Which you probably are.
Hoop blah blah,
Oh
whatever, all this shit. And so I find a video of Elon at the Tesla. I think it was like their shareholder meeting in 2003 or 2023.
Okay.
And he does like a heart on his chest, like two hands, heart, and then like blows it out to the crowd. So like heart goes out to you is very different.
I agree.
From what we witnessed.
Yeah, I agree.
So I sent that video to the family chat and I was like, watch for 15 seconds. And then my uncle used language like, we need to communicate as precisely as possible. Something. And so I go, allow me to be as precise as possible. He did a Nazi salute, not only once, but twice. So that goes out. I think he was stewing for a little bit. And then he hits the family with like another long essay about we're taking everything out of context. And so then
it's always out of context.
And then I text my cousin on the side being like, so we have a Nazi in the family.
Just like that.
And it's not me.
Well, there you go.
So Nazis abound, and let's not make room for their stupidity and disregard the things that they're doing in fucking daylight.
All right, you guys. So you heard it here first. Keep your eyes out for Nazis.
Keep your eyes out for Nazis.
Not to say they left, but they're back.
In the name of I forget the name of the characters in the Blues Brothers though, but fucking Illinois Nazis.
Elroy
and
Elroy.
Comment below if you know.
Comment below. I forget.
Elroy and Billy Bob.
No. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out.
But yeah,
we'll watch the Blues Brothers
later.
The
scene, the fucking Illinois Nazis. I hate Illinois Nazis.
Hate them. Can't like them.
So, and I maybe got one in the family.
Yeah.
So that was a tiff. That was a political tiff.
There you go.
That recently happened.
You ready for a story now?
Please.
Okay.
As I,
my
lube up
mother.
my throat.
My mother. Shout out my mom.
Shout out Kathy.
She recently got into a new hobby. Ice skating. You almost did a spit take.
Mm-hmm. Ice skating.
Skating. She got ice skates.
Ones with toe picks, I assume.
Oh yeah, she got figure skates that are pink and purple.
Gorgeous.
Oh, they're cute.
Gorgeous.
So my mom's gone ice skating a couple times now. 3, 4,
At the
5
Hoffman
times.
Estates Park District?
She's been around. I don't know. I haven't been there.
Okay.
All I know
They got a good rink over there.
is she's gone skating. And she called me on Tuesday when we would have been podcasting. Not at that night, but during the day.
Yeah.
Afternoon. And she goes, so I went ice skating this morning with my friend Cindy. And her friend Cindy fell
Uh-oh.
and hit the back of her head.
Yikes.
And cracked her skull a little bit.
Holy shit.
And had to get an ambulance and went to the ICU
Yeah.
and had to get a couple staples in the head.
Cindy.
And
oh my god, I am so sorry, Cindy. I'm not laughing at your injury.
you didn't know where this was going. That's the thing.
No, I didn't. I thought it was like
That's the thing.
she like clocked a kid on accident. Like that's what I was expecting.
That would have been really funny. No.
Okay.
So now my mom doesn't have a new hobby.
And just like oh my god, that is so stupid. For real, she's like, I'm done.
She has no desire to ice skate anymore.
Oh my god.
She told me that story, and I mean, I wasn't laughing even a little bit. I was like, "Oh my god, that could have been my mom."
Sure,
sure. It was my mom was one woman away from being one down, and me having to go to the hospital.
And partly, I was thinking that like maybe she fell and like broke her wrist or something.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
but not that she split her skull open and was
not
concussed.
split open, but cracked.
Yeah,
A little crack in there. Yeah,
that's a hard fall.
Yeah, they had to check. Yeah, oh my god. My mom said that she, after hearing the sound of that,
yeah,
she's like, that sound will never leave my head.
No.
What are you gonna
Oh
do?
my god! Speaking of sounds and skulls, do you remember this? Bassa Soccer.
Yes.
Circa 2009.
That's not the skull story that I have coming your way after your story that I'll
Okay.
never forget. But go ahead.
I mean, it's more your story.
No,
but I'll tell you from my
you were there.
perspective.
You tell it.
So it's youth soccer, 2000, what, 9, 10?
Too young.
Something like that.
2008.
You know, we're in middle
2008.
We're in middle school.
Yeah, something like that. 2009.
And it's the Jamboree, I believe.
Bassa Jamboree.
My team versus your team.
Oh yeah.
My team had some hitters on it. We were a solid team.
We were destined to lose.
Coached by
Who cares?
I
don't
believe
even
Kyle
know.
Butita's mom
Couldn't even tell
and
you
the
my coach.
son of your perpetrator.
Yeah.
And so I was off field. Like I was not playing at the time. And I played defense anyway. Like I wasn't very good at soccer. But
Right.
side story. So I'm like near half field, you know, I'm watching the things happen. I'm watching the stars of the team do what they got to do. You were playing midfield or something like that.
Defense.
You were playing defense? Because it's happened at like midfield
Yeah.
when this happened.
Yeah.
So somehow, I don't know who kicked it, but there was like a lob ball high into the middle of the field.
Oh yeah.
And you and I don't know if I should name names, but
Somebody.
But for the sake of the story, we'll call him Brickhouse.
Yeah.
Andrew Brickhouse.
Andrew Brickhouse.
Andrew Brickhouse also went for the same ball.
Yep.
And since it was high up in the air, the two of you thought it was the perfect time to use your noggin. But little did you know, as you were taller than, Mr. Brickhouse,
Yeah.
that his forehead was going to go careening into the center of your face.
Yeah.
And the sound, I believe it was the sound of your nose cracking,
Yeah.
is still piercing in my ears. And I remember like it hit. He was fine. No scratch on him.
He had a little dot on his forehead.
Like some redness.
Tiny little dot.
Some redness. But you were down.
Bleeding.
Bleeding.
Black eye and a half.
Oh, it was brutal.
It was so bad.
Brutal.
Yes.
And I'm over there on this side thinking like, this kid died. I just watched my neighbor die playing soccer.
Didn't die. Lived to tell the tale.
Lived to tell it. And I believe in the hallways you were telling people that you were like got mugged or something.
I did not. That never happened.
Okay, then.
Never. No. So at that same time, I also got a staph infection on my elbow.
Okay.
And so
What a combo.
So I had to be gauzed up on my elbow.
Yeah.
And I was wearing a short sleeve shirt, so I had black eye.
2 black eyes, if I remember
Black eye
correctly.
and a half. The second one was like a black eye, but like kind of half. And
Yeah.
The other one was a big time.
Yeah, full black.
And then a gauze on my elbow. So pretty much everybody was just asking me what happened.
Of course.
Of course. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you? And I was just telling them the same thing. Soccer. I went up, he went up, head, forehead, nose, boom. I went down. This is it.
Okay. Well, true to Barrington Forum, the rumor that ended up going
Of
around
course,
was like
that
that
always goes
you
around.
got mugged or something.
Yeah, that's a
or
lie.
It's some
Never happened.
some crazy shit where people came up to me and I was like, no, he got hit in the face by Andrew Brickhouse playing soccer.
Yeah. It got to the point where I was tired of telling the story.
Oh, I believe
Because it
it.
was such a long day, one of the longest days of my life, that I just started saying, like, go ask that person. They were there. Because there were so many people that were in
Yeah.
that game that were at
Yeah.
our school that I could just, like, pass it off to somebody who was there, which was nice, helpful. But
Yeah.
I got a lot of attention that day.
You
The
did.
next 2 days. Yeah.
You did, because your face was something else.
I got hit. Yeah.
And was that your last season of Bassa?
Of Bassa, yeah. But I didn't stop playing soccer.
Because that was my last season of Bassa. I realized I wasn't going anywhere with soccer.
Yeah. Hey, drop it, leave it. So yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, so I remember the sound of your shattered bridge of your nose.
Dang.
Yeah.
So here's my next sound
Yeah.
story.
Your sound memory.
I was playing back in Chucky Tripoli's backyard.
Okay. I knew that hill well.
I can't speak for whether you were there or if somebody else was there, but I know it was me, Chucky, Michael Tripoli, and what was the guy that was always hanging around with Michael Tripoli that was going to be like a doctor?
Oh,
You know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Don't wanna
He
guess
did
his
end up
name.
becoming a doctor.
I know.
It's not Faraz, but
No, you
that
can't
was,
guess his name.
But that was like my first
Yeah.
thing.
No.
Snahal?
No. But it was him.
No, that's what's his face's dad. But yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep, it was him. And he was telling a story. He was not paying attention. Somebody threw the ball up. I think it might have been Michael Tripoli.
Mm-hmm. Were you playing like 500 or
500
something?
with a baseball.
Okay.
Like not a tennis ball, not a football, like a baseball. We had mitts
Yeah.
right on the top of his head.
Oh.
And it made the craziest sound.
Yeah, it probably rang out of his mouth. You know? like his mouth just became
his mouth got so big. He put his hand on his head, and I probably thought about that once every 3 to 4 months ever since it happened.
Oh my god!
And every single time I laugh because the face that he made and the sound that came out of his head was hilarious. And you know what? It didn't slow him down. Still became a doctor. So
Still became a doctor.
shout out, you know?
Yeah, he still became a doctor.
So that's something to think about, you guys. If your
Which-
doctor's out there, he might have gotten hit on the head with a baseball when he
Yeah.
was younger.
I think it's safe to assume that your doctor is a doctor because he was not a professional athlete
Exactly.
caliber of a person. You know, those who can't do become doctors.
Yeah, that was something. So there you
Wow.
go.
Noises,
Noises.
sounds,
People
skulls
skulls.
getting crushed.
Dude,
You
when
know,
my
really
mom
leave an
when my
impression
mom
on
told me
you.
that story, I was blown away. I was
Yeah,
like, jeez, I was not ready to handle that.
I'm not. I'm still processing.
So
My God, poor Cindy.
yeah,
Deserved none of it.
Yeah, well, they
Well,
had
I
to keep her in
guess.
the ICU overnight to make sure that blood hadn't like entered her
Sure. Yeah.
brain. It was a
Yeah.
whole
She had
thing.
some, edema or whatever.
A whole thing.
But now I know if I find some blue and purple ice skates on Craigslist or Facebook, I will know who they are from, who I'm purchasing from.
Literally. There you go.
Did you ever have skates as a kid? Like, did you ever have?
I had blades, roller blades, but I didn't have skates. But I'm good on ice. I skate.
I haven't ice skated in over a decade now.
Really? I've definitely done it a couple times.
Yeah, I haven't. I've always wanted to do the ribbon here at Maggie Daily.
Yeah. You know, those, dude.
But you have to go during the week.
Those ice skate rentals are garbage.
Oh,
those
totally.
No, they're not even skatable.
Oh, they're that bad.
They're that bad.
Okay. So, I mean, you can rent from like another person, right? Yeah, you could just go to like any sports store or whatever.
Probably, yeah. But so if you're gonna do it, don't do it that way.
Okay. I used to have skates growing up. I used to have my own pair of hockey skates.
Really?
Yeah.
No toe pick.
No toe pick, because I was a boy.
Because you're a man.
Because I was a boy, and boys get hockey skates.
They should have given you a toe pick.
I would have crushed. I would have been, honestly, looking back at it, I think my parents really missed out on an opportunity to have their son in spandex crushing shit on ice.
True. It's not too late though. You could still follow that dream.
No, I think after Cindy, I'm gonna.
You're off ice skate.
Yeah, I'm gonna take her. I'm gonna take her lead and say that's.
You got to remember they're up there in age though. Like
that's fine.
That's a balance thing.
And I ski, so like I don't need.
You're a skier.
I don't need something else to add other questions to my health insurance.
Okay, say less.
But I did.
You're so not over that story.
It's so fucked. It's so fucked.
You love how I ended that story too.
I mean, because it's a good ending.
That's a good ending.
But oh my God, that poor woman. I could just see it. I could witness the fall.
Oh my God. And Cindy is just a doll. You would
didn't deserve it.
She's so sweet. So yeah, so there you go.
You know what? I mean, maybe she should have worn a helmet, but
Would have, could have, should have.
I wear a helmet skiing.
Yeah.
I think, I won't go skiing without a helmet.
The thing is like my mom was saying that they go so slow. They were not trying to go fast or anything.
Yeah.
So
she's
I don't know. It just it's just crazy stuff that goes down out there sometimes.
I mean, ice, man. Ice is wild.
Ice is wild.
Nick and Demi, so they live off of the river.
I saw that.
They like created their own little hockey rink.
Yeah, I saw that. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
So cool.
The things you can do in suburbia.
Yeah.
Which, as I'm getting older,
you're getting closer to that, huh?
I think I will end up in suburbia.
Yeah.
Because not that I don't love the city, I think there are some really fantastic things about living in a city.
Yeah.
I think access and like mobility is really nice.
Sure.
Like I have access to all like the really cool restaurants, shows, shops. All of that is here and very easy to get to.
Right.
But when it comes to like, majority of the time I'm at home, like these are kind of one-off things that I do. And so I personally would want to like manifest or curate a home that gives me a lot of opportunities when I don't have time or
do random
or I
stuff.
don't have even the money to go to these fancy restaurants, these shows and these things. And I want space. Like ideally I want a yard.
Yeah, dude.
Because in my vision of the latter years of life, I have a nice yard. I have 2 cats, a dog, maybe some ducks, and bees. I would also like to have bees one day. And, it's just me and like, an acre, 2. I want trees, bitch. I want lots of trees, evergreens because it smells good. And, if that can happen, fabulous. I'm trying to get there. But at this point in my life, I think the city is still okay. I think I'm in my 20s still. So like it's definitely
Barely.
I know, we're almost 30. And in gay time, like that's death. Like I die in 2 years.
Dude. Shit. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
did you know this?
I don't know how I would know that.
A little. Well, yeah. Well, maybe you'd explored one day. But back in gay culture, well, currently in gay culture,
Mm.
when you become 30, you die.
Wow.
You experience death because you're no longer your young, supple, twink self. You've now entered the ambiguous adult gay.
So you're reborn?
No.
No.
It's very dark sided.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So it's more like you are kind of this amorphous gay being
Nice.
where you're not old enough. I mean, you could be a bear by body shape, but you're not old enough to be like a daddy, and you're not young enough to be like a baby twink. You're in this weird moment of ambiguity in the gay community.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
When does the weird moment of ambiguity end for you?
You know, that I think scientists
Because I
have yet
feel
to
like,
discover.
like you're talking about that you're going to get to this. Don't you feel like you're kind of...
I think I just will naturally exist in a state of
Yeah.
ambiguity. But in terms of making it digestible for the masses,
And I mean, no disrespect.
but I think that's the general rule of thumb. I think I might be an exception to the rule,
I see. There's always one.
but
There's always one.
generally it is 30 that my community has their first funeral.
Okay, well, I have a feeling we're gonna have a little bit of a longer episode this time around because we still have a couple things to talk about. So I'm just throwing that out there right now. So be ready for that. We're not gonna cut it short.
Well, I know Severance because we need to discuss.
We got to talk about that. We got Hill still. And
okay.
There's a lot to talk about. So I just want to shift that into the conversation.
Well, let's pivot.
Let us know that we got to pivot here.
Yeah, well, let's pivot. What do you want to pivot to Severance?
I think we got to just talk about what we've been watching. So we've both been watching the same thing, you guys, and we got to talk about it. We haven't talked about it yet. 2 episodes are out. I need to confirm.
Yes.
You've watched the second episode.
I've watched both.
Okay, so what I think we should do is I think we should talk about the first episode first.
Okay.
And then the second episode second, and then just kind of just go around and just kind of talk about it a little bit and just kind of see what's going on.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't watched Severance or you're not up to date on the current episodes, this would be the time to realize that you've failed in life and that you need to step it up. Spend a couple bucks a month on Apple TV because they got good stuff, especially Severance. Watch it.
Yeah, get your shit together.
Then pull back up our podcast, subscribe, leave a review, send us an email, and then you could listen to this portion of the podcast.
Thank you.
And then now we're back. So, episode 1.
Episode 1.
Did you like it? Was it good?
Did I like episode 1? Yes.
Okay, good.
You know, I think that, I mean, it wasn't much of like there were no bombs in episode 1.
Really?
I mean, there were some.
Okay.
But I didn't look at it as like, holy shit, episode 1 came out with a bang.
So
I don't think it did.
I agree. Okay, keep going.
So one thing that I did appreciate about episode 1 that I thought was kind of like setting up some ooky spooky vibes,
right,
is Helly.
How she was acting.
Yes.
Interesting.
Helly is a very interesting character in this series. And I'm just going to go full spoiler.
Yeah, no, spoil. We've already let them know that.
Yeah. So she's an Egan. She is like part of the Lumen higher, like
she's a cog, a big cog.
Yes. She's part of the Lumen aristocracy. And
she severed for a huge political
reason.
Stunt.
Yes.
That is huge.
Huge. And so I think.
So her innies learned this.
Yeah. So her innie knows. So like she became like she truly severed. Like it wasn't like a false severance.
No, she is severed.
She's fully severed. And when they're in the break room, which is now like their new TV recreational room or whatever it is now, and all the innies are discussing like what you did on the outside. And Mark was honest. Mark told, what he experienced, where they found out like his brother-in-law is their, the person's book, the gospel person. Whatever.
Right. Which is awesome.
Which is so funny to me. Rickon. Such a funny character. But, that he found like his wife is the wellness director or, Miss, forget her name,
Miss Casey.
Miss Casey. And
Oh, Miss Casey.
right, Miss Casey. And like I like that he did run to the wellness center in the very beginning,
Mm-hmm.
you know, trying to, but she's gone. You know, she went back to the basement or wherever she is. And when it got to Helly and she lied about her experience, that she didn't tell them that she's an Egan and that she went to the gala and dropped bombs in front of TV cameras and all these things. I have two potential theories as to why she lied.
Hit me.
One is that as her innie, she might not be comfortable taking on the heat from the rest of the team about who she is as an Egan.
Okay.
Because Irving is like super diehard Egan. Like he's kind of in the Kool-Aid a little bit. Maybe not less now, but like in the beginning of the season 1, like he was very into the Kool-Aid.
He was.
And Dylan is, I think Dylan could kind of come out hot, you know, and then making Helly uncomfortable and other things. And then with Mark, I don't like, they have a weird romance. So like it could like change the way Mark sees her. But my second theory is that the Helly that we're seeing in season 2 on the severed floor is not severed Helly.
Really? You think that?
It's possible.
That occurred to me as well.
It's possible.
So I think that Heliar is severed. I think it's the severed Heliar. I think that she's embarrassed.
Okay.
I think that she is so embarrassed by the situation. And I also think that she knows how it ended. How she got kind of tackled.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that she saw how big it was, and it's probably so much for her to even comprehend. And I also think that there's a chance that they took her outie or innie to like a break room or like some sort of room and just like, I don't know, got her to flip her script in some way.
Something, you know, I definitely think that that's possible, that they could have taken her while they all were gone. Like they could have taken her, brought her innie back out, and then like questioned her about like what happened and all this stuff.
So
definitely think that's possible.
Now, do you have any theory? So big news about the new season is that Milchick got Cobell's job.
Yes, he's the new manager of the severed floor.
Now, do you think that it has been 5 months?
I don't know. I don't know the timeline of things. Partly I want to say no because his computer wasn't updated.
That's it. That's a big thing. I agree with you there.
You know,
I don't think it's been 5 months.
So I don't think that because otherwise it probably would have been fixed, in my opinion, a lot sooner.
Do you think that them doing the overtime contingency actually had a like big thing where like their innies are heroes or whatever, like Milchick said, and showed him the newspaper?
Oh, the news articles?
Do you buy it?
No.
You think it's all manufactured?
Well, because
propaganda?
So like after we got to see a little bit of like the Audi's life, like Dylan was looking for a new job and Irving was just at home.
He was distraught that he had lost the job, and he was like, why? What can I do? Is it about money? Is it this? Is it that?
So in that time period where Dylan was looking for a new job.
So we're hopping on to episode 2 now, you guys.
Yeah, we're on episode 2.
A little bit.
There was no like cameras, no reporters coming to their house. There's no discussion about like all these reporters showing up. So I think that is false. I think this story is being well contained. So
I saw a screenshot zoomed in of that newspaper and the picture of the 4 of them like at the parade or whatever. It's literally the exact same picture that they took of them for
like the office picture.
The office picture, and just like photoshopped right onto a thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Lumen is shady. I don't believe anything that's coming out.
And then in the second episode, another reason why I am certain that it has been 5 months is in the second episode, it's still wintertime.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're telling me 5 months between
Right, unless you
the
live
season
in the
finale?
Arctic Circle, you know.
Hell no, we're definitely in the U.S. here.
Yeah.
You know.
Right, because they said Delaware.
Exactly.
Helly said Delaware, whatever.
Exactly. So there's that. So here's another theory. You ready for this?
Yeah.
So Milchek, the girl who took over Milchek's position, what do you think about her?
Like she's a child.
She's a kid.
She's a kid. And her first job was a crossing guard.
Supposedly.
That's what we know. And I have like one potential like kind of like far out there theory. If
Okay.
this turns out to be like the weird like Mark and Miss Casey's kid,
You don't like that possibility.
I hate it.
Okay.
I hate it. Because never once in season 1 was it referenced that Mark had a child. They were trying, you know, and so like Miss Casey was abducted, and then she was pregnant when she was abducted, and had the baby, and then here we are to now the assistant floor manager is Mark's potential daughter, and like. But I think we learned in episode 2 that like this whole thing that's happening on the severed floor, or like a big part of it with all these characters, is centered around Mark for sure. It's some project, I forget the name that they called it, but it was referenced by Miss Cobell and it was referenced by Helly, I believe. So
Helena or Helly?
By Helena.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
When she was talking to like her body.
I must have missed that
person. I believe it was referenced.
But I'm curious.
But yeah, so like there's something going on with Mark, and that so his wife being abducted and pregnant and then all into the severed floor.
So I don't think that's what happened.
Okay.
So I'm going to stop you.
Okay. Because
I don't yeah, you are spiraling a little bit, and I respect that. I don't think that's what happened.
I'm thinking about it.
So here's what I think. You ready for this?
Yeah.
So what I think Mark's wife died. I think that
you think Miss Casey is not his wife.
That's not what I said.
Okay.
So you recently rewatched the first episode, right?
Of season 1?
Or the first season, right?
Yes.
So you remember the episode where they ran into the room with goats?
Yes.
What do we know about goats?
Oh, so she's a clone.
Ding, ding.
Okay.
Now, here's what I think next. I think that they are in there, and the numbers and stuff that they're moving from here to here to here to here.
Yeah, what do you think they're refining?
DNA.
Okay.
And I think Mark is sitting there refining his ex-wife's DNA.
Okay.
And then they made a clone of her.
Yeah.
And then I think that this is also a clone of her as well as a younger
version.
Younger version.
That's possible. That's a fascinating theory. And like
because they just finished their quarter.
Yeah.
And the quarter finished, and we did it. We hit our numbers.
Yeah.
We're able to create a new clone now. And I think that they killed off Miss Casey. That was the wellness director.
The first Miss Casey.
I think she's dead because she's just a clone. She's
right.
not an actual human.
Okay.
She's not in the books.
Yeah.
You know, and like, that's what I think's going on.
I think that is a really fascinating and plausible theory. And
I think that the other people in there are doing the same thing with other people in their lives or other people that they have been.
So I guess where does optics and design fall into the kind of, I don't know, clone theory? Like, what's the purpose of optics and design?
Optics and design. I mean, it is what it is, you know. Optics and design. They design how.
Like, are they secretly like developing? I don't know, the exterior of these clones, or like,
I wonder if they might be designing like the movement and like how they.
Okay.
Like.
Because I think like there has to be something as to why that was the team that they were interacting
Dylan
with.
took that card.
Yes.
And that's why they did the overtime contingency. That card was like a movement kind of card. It had like a person on it.
Yeah.
Maybe some arrows type of thing.
Right. Something like that.
So I think, now that we're talking about it, I haven't had this thought. So they like kind of dance like in kind of like a weird way.
Who?
Everybody, remember when they have the jazz
Yeah.
party and they like have that like weird everybody kind of dances in like a slow kind of like movement type of thing.
Sure.
I'm not saying that this is related to that, but I do
Yeah.
think that like as far as optics and design, they could be like designing movements
Okay.
and stuff, and like they all, and as far as the optics, they're in charge of what artwork that gets put around and it like, and they show it get in the first season, it gets circulated from department to department
Mm-hmm.
so that these innies only consume a certain bit of art.
Yeah. I think, okay, that's fascinating. I do think that the clone theory is plausible.
Yeah,
I think
me
that's pretty interesting. What I thought they were refining,
yeah, what do you think?
wasn't necessarily DNA, but I thought it was memories.
Ooh.
Yeah, I thought that they would be refining, the aspects of people's memories. Like somehow the chip that's in their brains is able to process memories that comes,
give them a feeling,
spits in a code, and then it like, because like you can have different feelings with these numbers of code that they're going through. It could be fear, it could be whatever. They're like, to our understanding, it's like a multitude of feelings, which could be memories.
Right.
So that was my theory, that like they're refining people's memories to make them 100% innies, or like 100% like lumen mind, children of Kier,
right?
If it were.
Gosh.
But the goats, I don't know, because maybe they are clones, and like they put the memories in the clones. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I feel like. So for a while, I did think that she was Miss Casey Gemma was abducted. I kind of thought of that, but I was like, died in a car. Like, I just don't know. I just don't know.
Because then, like, what happened at a funeral?
Yeah, they probably, yeah, exactly.
Like, did her body just go missing?
Right.
Like, there's a lot of questions there.
But I do believe that, like, DNA and stuff like that. So I'm sure that has something pretty big to do about it.
Yeah. And why do you think, like, kind of on a different tangent, but still centered around Mark, why do you think Cobell did what she did, like, so infiltrated his life? Do you think it was, like, fantasy obsession, or was it something more? Like, was that part of her job?
I don't think that it was necessarily part of her job in that way. I mean, I think it was like her job to keep an eye on Mark. What I don't totally understand is why Mark decided to live in Lumen housing. And I don't understand why.
Maybe for money.
So,
like, it's subsidized by Lumen, so he probably doesn't have to pay very much to live there.
I guess I just don't. You're like, I understand. I don't totally understand how he wouldn't meet other people that live in Lumen housing, and how, like, I guess they just choose that that's just not part of the story. Yeah. But I feel like that's a little bit of a hole in the show itself.
Yeah. But what do you think of this? Like, do you think Mark chose to work at Lumen, or did Lumen choose Mark?
I think that Mark chose to work at Lumen.
Okay.
I really do. And I think that Mark, even though he's like, I think he's a big part of something that they're doing. I think that I think that Lumen probably decides, like, based on they consider the reason that people join to be severed.
Yeah.
And then they decide how that can benefit them.
Sure.
And how
totally.
So, so he probably signed off his brain away.
Yeah, I think that just comes in the contract of, like, putting the chip in and being severed and stuff like that. And, like, the overtime contingency is, like, in the, small print of their contract or whatever. Now, Helly, I think, is the next most fascinating character kind of in this series. because she kind of is the most double life character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she has the most extremes.
Right.
And there was a scene where Helena is going through the footage of the, what did they ever called it? The Macrodata revolt or
Right.
something like
She
that.
saw them kiss.
And she saw them kiss and she got a little,
Oh my God.
she was like, oh my goodness, my innie found love, but I can't.
I kind of thought that too. Yes.
You know, so like, it was that a crack in Helena, and can we see her kind of maybe transition against the Egan narrative and help Mark even outside of the severed floor? I don't think at this point she is. I think she's still very much with the Egan message, because she did record that last thing at the end where it's like, you know, I had too much to drink and a non-lumen medication.
Right. Exactly.
That caused me to say some crazy things. But I did see that as like a crack in her armor.
For sure. Yeah, I saw that too. Do you think, so what do you think is going to what do you think happens with Cobell and Mark after the end of the second episode? Like, Mark was like screaming at her to tell me what's going on. Do you like,
I think that's, I don't know. I don't think Cobell comes back.
you think that's the end of Cobell?
I think that's the end of Cobell.
She just leaves.
Well, she goes on to a different department in Lumen or whatever. She's like now handling Severance something.
She drove past Mark, didn't she?
Yeah. She didn't hit Mark. She drove away. And Mark was left standing there like, the fuck? Because he asked her, like, why did you do all this? And she like kind of froze for a little bit. And then she like.
He asked about Gemma.
Right.
Yeah.
And then she just screamed like on the horn.
That scared the shit out of me.
And then.
I jumped. Oh my God. Yeah. My heart jumped. It skipped a beat.
And then she drove off. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if we never see Cobell again.
Yeah, I mean, the episode was called Goodbye, Miss Selvig.
Yeah.
But I was hoping that she was going to,
which is a shame, because Patricia Arquette is
such a good actress.
Awesome.
I don't think that that's the end of her. I really don't.
Okay.
Part of me kind of thought that she might help Mark for a little bit, but not considering she drove off.
Do you think her real name is Charlotte and not Harmony? So kind of a subtle thing that happened in the first season when she's destroying her shrine to Kier.
Oh, right. Okay.
There's like an oxygen tube that's in this display, and she like grabs it, clutches it, and on the hospital tag it says Charlotte. So who's Charlotte is my question. Is Charlotte Harmony, or did Harmony like lose a relative, lose a daughter perhaps, and that kind of like began her descent into Lumen and all this kind of crazy stuff? But I don't know if that's going to manifest into anything, but that was something that I did catch when I was rewatching season 1.
So many questions. Right.
The show has a lot of, there are some like open ends, like plot holes perhaps to this show, I think. Of course. But for the most part, it's still entertaining, even though there's a lot more questions than answers. It is so good.
I'm ready. It's so good, and I like it. Do you know there's a new Apple TV show that's out? It's a different thriller, and I don't think it's quite like Severance, but I mean it's the same.
What's it called?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
But it's out. First couple episodes.
Okay.
I forgot. I think I watched the intro or the trailer for it. It seemed good. So TBD on that.
TBD on that.
TBD on that.
I was told to watch Silo on Apple TV.
I heard that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like a post-apocalyptic bunker situation. I liked Fallout on Amazon.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's in the same kind of.
Didn't watch that one.
Bailiwick. It's good. It's good. It's a good series.
Interesting. Do you have a hill that you want to die on?
I mean, yes. I always have a hill.
Okay.
And today, my hill, it's going to be political.
I can't believe you have a political hill, Mike.
Because I do feel some type of way about our current
situation.
Let it out.
Bring it.
It's very ooky spooky.
Uh-oh.
Like, we're at a moment in the United States, in the American experience, that really has the potential for some high highs and low lows.
True.
So when Trump got inaugurated, the event was what it is. I was happy to see that Carrie Underwood's little song, had a little technical interruption, and it made it look less impactful and special than it was.
Yeah, that was fun.
Because fuck you, Carrie. You're better than that.
You'd think.
But maybe she's a shill. I don't know. I was disappointed in Miss Underwood.
Yeah, she messed up.
But one of the things, in his speech that was very concerning was the language that he used about invasions and all that kind of crap. But he did say this in the campaign too, that he was going to pardon the January 6th insurrectionists. And in my opinion, as an American, I'm a patriot, sure, because I believe in the American experience. I like that this country has ideals to live up to. We haven't always lived up to them, but they exist, and it's something to kind of guide us, and I enjoy that.
Okay.
But when I was at work and I watched the riot, when I watched these people storm the Capitol, I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, crazy.
That's wild. And when all the investigations and things happened, and it was like, and Trump was indicted, I was like, finally, this guy's a criminal. He organized one of the most horrendous attacks on this country in its history.
Right.
And yet he became elected president. So wild. And he said he was going to pardon these people. And he did. Day one, he pardoned about like 1,500 of them. And I look at that as such a slap in the face, as such a moment of profound disrespect.
For real.
To the ideals of this country, the officers that saved the Capitol that day, and the American democratic experience then, allowed it for Trump to become elected and go through the process as a peaceful transfer of power from Biden to him. And when I'm hearing these stories that these insurrectionists who had bludgeoned police officers and, shit on the Capitol floor, did just like the most disrespectful things that they, for America, allegedly is what their whole purpose was, to save the United States. I see it as there's no redeeming quality for those people. And the least that could happen for these people, in the hill that I'm going to die on, is that you've been pardoned by the president and you can't go to jail at this point in time, but you should not be allowed to vote ever again.
I agree with that.
Ever again. And I do believe that like felons and prisoners, depending on your crime, you deserve the right to vote should never be removed from you.
Yeah, I agree.
So if even if you killed somebody and you're in Florida penitentiary for 25 years to life, whatever, you get out on parole, you should be allowed to vote. I believe that. But if you committed a crime against the very democratic process that you now want to participate in,
you're out.
You're out. So the hill that I'm dying on is that if you have actively done something to destroy democracy or to destroy a democratic process, you have no business being in it ever again. And I am feeling some type of way about the situation because it is scary. I am a little bit more wrought than I kind of thought I would be.
Sure.
And that's me sitting in my male whiteness as comfort. The only thing that kind of adds a tinge of fear to this whole experience, other than my socioeconomic status, is my sexual orientation, me as a gay person.
Right.
And these people that are in power, this Project 2025 bullshit that is now kind of coming to fruition, the rights that the people before me, the gays before me, have literally died for is going to evaporate. And that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
I never once thought I was going to get married, but now I'm I have to, because I might never get the chance.
Damn. Yeah.
And that's kind of a freaky deaky thought.
Yeah, it is
Kind of a
freaky.
heavy note on the Sofa Tomatoes pod.
Yeah.
But it's a reality. And if anything about this podcast is we exist in reality and we opine on that experience.
True that.
But and also I have a sister who is already had part of her rights disappear.
For sure.
So, witnessing like who knows, maybe it goes full Handmaid's Tale and like only Joe, her husband, can have a credit card again.
Jesus.
And Nicole, who worked her ass off to become a physical therapist, can never practice physical therapy again.
That'd be wild.
Like it goes like full dark Handmaid's Tale. And essentially Project 2025 was like really going to try and take us there. So that's a little scary. And then like, if that doesn't come to like the social cultural crap, the next thing that scares me is just the social economics, like the socioeconomics of it all. This oligarchy that we're kind of going to fall into, where the Bezoses, the Musks, the Zuckerbergs are really going to run the show.
That is terrifying. All those big wigs getting together and running America in a more obvious way than ever before.
Yes.
Terrifying shit.
Like they sat in front of the cabinet.
That was crazy. That's just unbelievable.
That should never happen. That should never happen. But here we are. We have a transactional president and they bought the government.
You know who Dana White is?
The UFC guy?
Yeah. Did I tell you this?
No.
Did you know that he's now on Facebook's board?
I did hear about this. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, did you see the video of Mark being like, we need to masculinize, or we need to make the Facebook office more masculine?
He said that Dana White said that he was put on the board to be like the backbone, the spine.
What is that?
Isn't that ridiculous?
What is that?
It's because he's worth $500 million. That's why.
What is that? Like, that's so fucked. Like,
it's just putting people with a lot of money in your pocket. That's all.
Like this, like fucking red pilled asshole. Like, have you ever seen The Social Network?
No.
The movie? It's actually a really good movie. But it's about the founding of Facebook. It follows Mark and all that crap. And it's directed by David Fincher, I believe, who is
Finchman.
Fabulous. An amazing director. And the character of Mark Zuckerberg in that movie, I believe, is very true to form, because in the movie, he's an asshole.
Right.
He's a misogynist douchebag who does anything to have a sense of power, popularity, or influence. And we're witnessing that in real time with real consequences. In my opinion, like, he should probably be in jail for some of the things that Facebook has done. Facebook has not only allowed like certain governments to infiltrate other democracies around the world, but one huge thing that Facebook did, I believe, was in Myanmar, where they were kind of connecting to the internet for the first time. They were developing networks that allowed them to have Facebook cell phones and shit like that. So they went from a country that like nobody was online to like almost 80% of the population being online within a very short amount of time.
Right. And
one of the deals that Facebook made with the telecom companies in that country was that Facebook would become preloaded onto these cell phones. And
oldest trick in the book.
I mean, I get it. Like, it's a business move for Facebook. It's smart, whatever, because now when they refer to the internet, they just call it Facebook. So, but one of the shady things that Facebook did and failed to act on was their algorithm kind of promoting negative and hateful information. So they were kind of having a big kind of like civil conflict with a group of like a minority group called the Rohingya, I believe.
Okay.
And they've kind of been like the country scapegoat for the long time. Like, as black people are in the United States, the Rohingya was to, I believe, Myanmar. I hope it's Myanmar. I hope I'm getting this correctly. But one of like the leaders of this like anti-Rohingya political movement really exploded on Facebook, and his content was promoted on Facebook. And Facebook didn't create monitors or even have enough like translators to really go through the content that was being disseminated, that really unfairly and unjustly persecuted these people and essentially created an ethnic cleansing situation in this country, amplified by Facebook.
Yeah.
And there's going to be no consequences for it because in the United States, they hide behind, I forget the name of the law, but it essentially means that these companies can't be liable for the content that other people post on their platforms. Section 230, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm a Nazi, right? And so I post Nazi shit on Facebook. Facebook is not liable for my Nazi shit that I posted on their platform. That's kind of what the law says. So I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean,
It's kind of like a freedom of speech type thing.
but that's from the government. The First Amendment doesn't protect private businesses from people. It protects the private businesses and people from the government. So these companies, corporations,
tricky.
they can, create rules that prevent hate speech on these platforms, and it's 100% constitutional. But you have these free speech absolutionists, which actually aren't, like Musk and Zuckerberg, because they do throttle content that goes against their agenda. Like, did I tell you about Stephen King, the author?
You did.
Yeah, how he called Elon Musk like the first lady of the United States, and Musk kicked him off the platform.
That's crazy.
Yeah, very free speech, Ellen.
That's wild.
So it's wild times, and that was kind of a tangent,
and Mike's gonna die on that hill.
But I'm dying on so many hills, and that is definitely one of them.
Well, I'm not gonna have a hill today. I'm just gonna pass my hill because that was such a good hill.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna say shout out that hill, Mike, and fact.
Do you have a hill journal yet?
No hill. No. But I've thought of a hill here and a hill there, and I got a few, but I'm saving it. I'm gonna save it for next week when we
save it for the next episode.
When we do less political hill time.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just hot.
No, don't be sorry. No. This is we got to use our platform. So use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that's how you choose to use our platform, then use it. I'm with it.
I like that.
I'm with it.
Thanks, partner.
So rock on. Thanks for listening, you guys.
Rock on. Love you. Love you.
And we will be back again sooner than later. So thanks for tuning in, you guys. I am Tom Sofa.
And I'm Mike Tomato.
And this is Sofa Tomatoes. Good night. Send us an email. Leave us a review. Do whatever the hell you want.
Comment, subscribe.
But do something.
Bye.
Thanks, you guys. Toodaloo and bye.